heart to heart one more time, and we are in California. Yay! We're all the way to San Francisco with one of our master artists, Jim Fitzpatrick. And Jim, thank you for being part of this and for your willing, to do this on Skype. I know it's not the same as being in person, but you know what? You're looking great. I see so much of your work behind you, so it's wonderful.
Thank you. You look great too, and it's an honor, that I've been selected not only in 2014 but 2015,
Yes.
and I'm working on some things to hopefully be in the one for next year too.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And
Yeah.
well, I am so happy that we're able to finally see you and speak to you. I want you to introduce yourself to the public, tell them who you are and the wonderful creations that you do so that they know you.
Well, I'm Jim Fitzpatrick, and I was born and raised in San Francisco, and I'm a self-taught artist and photographer. I got hooked on drawing as a small boy. I started out with pencils, but my primary focus, even as a boy, was portraits. And my mom gave me a magazine early on, and it had a lot of Norman Rockwell's works. And
Ah,
even though his style is very different than mine, the thing that really got me hooked on him and art was the expressions he could capture on the people's faces.
yeah.
Uh, very animated expressions, and I love that. So I think that's why my focus was on portraits. And then as I got a little bit older, I got into photography, and again, photography is a little different. My focus for that was pretty much anything and everything: landscapes, animals, people, portraits, and so on. And then as I got into a career and working and so on, it kind of went to a back burner, both of them. But about 9 years ago, after I got hurt at a fire, because I was a firefighter, I went through a lot of rehabilitation, and that gave me a lot of time on my hands. And what I noticed was, and also talking to other artists, if you do suffer with chronic pain or something, or going through issues, the art really helps. It keeps your mind focused on things. And if you can create things, and I think if you can do positive things that people will enjoy, it's a win-win, not only for yourself but for other people. So that's what my focus has been, and I've been getting more and more into actually combining both mediums, where I'm improving as a portrait artist, but my weak spot was doing backgrounds and so on. But as a photographer, I could take some of my better pictures, landscapes or whatever, and with Photoshop combine them together. So I've been doing that a lot recently.
Very creative, and it is wonderful to hear your story, Jim, because it's curious, but every artist has a really interesting story of success, and overcoming challenges. And knowing that this is what got you back in track with art, it's incredible.
Right, and what's happened is when I've gone for some medical appointments, I've actually brought some of my work with me, and actually even your catalogs, the top 60 masters,
Oh wow.
and so the doctors were pretty impressed with that. Not only my work, but the other artists' work. But they've actually asked me a couple of times if I could even talk to some of the other patients or so on to kind of give them uh, things that have helped me, because everybody's situation is different.
Yes.
But if you can keep your mind positive and focus on other things, it kind of keeps your mind off of the pain or the bad things you're going through. And so one doctor actually wrote an article that came out, and he talked about my artwork and so on, and how it's helped patients, and I've helped also patients with one of the treatments I was going through, prolotherapy, which looks painful, but by them knowing, listening to me, somebody that's actually gone through it and not a doctor, I think it helps them too. So, but that's why I figured, I'm getting older in life, so I'm not as physical as I was before when I had, desires and dreams to become a firefighter or a skater or whatever. So now I think when one door closes, as they say, another door opens, and I think that's what's happened to me with my art and photography. So if I can use it for positive things and help other people or bring some enjoyment, I think it's a good thing.
Great. There's no trace of pain in Jim's artworks. So, what inspires you?
Well, it's funny because life can get you down at times, but I've noticed that there are people that are so negative, and I think that's part of the problem in the world today with all these issues and the wars, and people have this like prejudice, this one viewpoint on others, and that's one thing I think that shows in my artwork. I mean, I draw all sorts of different
Yeah.
nationalities, older people, younger people, beautiful women, not so good looking people.
Yes.
But I find the diversity and the beauty out there. And if other people, I think, could look for that instead of always just looking at the negative or having a one sided view of life. So I think maybe some other artists are kind of like that too. They see hopefully they see like a broader view of the world. And like in your case, you've traveled a lot, you've lived in different places, so obviously, you see the beauty and the diversity that you enjoy in other places.
Yeah.
And I think other people should be open minded to that. So hopefully, my artwork kind of helps with that.
Absolutely, absolutely does. And tell us how is the day in your studio? How's your routine? If you have one. Usually
Oh yeah.
artists don't have a routine. I know that. But how do you maintain discipline? You're very successful. You keep working. You keep creating new works. You're not stuck anywhere. You just keep going. So give us your secret.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is kind of like my man cave and art studio. So it's got stuff all over the walls. If the camera turned around, you see a
I
million things hanging up on the walls. But so I can get kind of have my own little private space to work in, and I like to put music on. And in fact, recently I did a portrait of he was a famous singer, Chris Christopherson.
Oh, okay.
I had met his son recently, and so it seems to help when actually if I'm drawing somebody, and especially if they're a singer or whatever, if I put their music on, it kind of gets me more in the mood, and and that helps. But again, with I have some limitations because of the pain. I have to kind of make sure that I have the good posture and different things like that, or maybe take a break from it. And what I noticed is if things are not going good, it's better to put that project aside and go to something else. And then when you come back to it, actually, then it becomes easier. I've noticed. But if you stick with it and it's not going good, it gets frustrating, and it doesn't look so good. And then what I've done is now, since I'm also not only doing the artwork but the photography, I try and space things out where one day or one period of time during the day I'll focus on the artwork, and then I'll switch over to the photography and work on that because um, with all these advantages nowadays with technology, even just being able to talk to you
Yeah.
online like this, things like Photoshop can take a picture that looks nice and just take it to a whole new level by doing adjustments to it and so on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a time I think artists need to be kind of like by themselves without distractions, and that's why I have my little man cave where I do my work.
I am so happy and really feel really touched with every interview I do because I hear these incredible stories and we have to share them because it's that time that we need to kind of wake up, share our stories, share what life is about and what we are creating, what we are creating. So I really thank you for following your heart too. I'm so happy. We have
Well,
an
thank you very
incredible
much.
team
Appreciate
of
it.
artists.
Well, thank you so much.
So, what are the next projects that you're working on? What's exciting? Anything that you can reveal or secret or anything?
Well, I'm just constantly experimenting and fine tuning. It's funny as a boy growing up, I was never the greatest student. I was able to get by, and my grades were okay, but it was some people it came easier for. But I noticed since I really love artwork, it's 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 like I'm a student now of that. I was self-taught, but now with the internet, I can go online and I can look at tutorials on how people do different techniques. Even your magazine, I can look at other people's styles, and that's actually gotten me to experiment and done things where I got into doing a little bit of abstract. Um, Actually, with my photography, where I could use digital programs to change things around, and that was something I never had even thought about before. So, by your magazine and other people exposing other artists and so on. I think it's a great way to inspire other people to create and do different things too, experiment and learn.
Yes, exactly. And your drawing technique is excellent. So it really is great, for self-taught artists. So there is hope for those who want to do it and think that they're not able to do it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting. I've seen some people do amazing work, but I'll see that they draw all these lines, and it's so precision. It's almost like they're tracing. And for me, I figure I've got to try and do it freehand. I'll do a few lines to make sure that the eyes aren't off. The things are kind of like in proportion, but I want to try and stick with doing freehand. And I'm amazed by hyper realists. I want to make my work as realistic looking as possible, but I've read that some hyper realists will spend up to 100 hours
Yeah.
or maybe 10 months on one work. And for me, I go, I don't want to sacrifice, quality, but I want to be able to create a lot of different things. And I think I can do more in 10 months, multiple works. Versus that, but I have slowed down because before I was cranking out a lot of pictures, but I've tried to been focusing now more and more on getting more and more accurate with my details and more specific.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. I won't take any more of your time, but we have shared some exciting information. And I want you to share your website with the public because I want to invite everyone to go visit your website when they finish watching this interview so they can enjoy more of your work.
Oh, okay. Oh, and one quick thing I wanted to bring
Yes.
up about that too was as soon as I appeared in your magazine and I posted the links on the internet, on different sites and so on, social media, I noticed there was a huge increase in views.
Oh,
And now I'm approaching almost 300,000 views.
oh wow.
And it was going up, but definitely, it was a definite notice as soon as I appeared in your magazine. So it was a huge bragging right for me to appear there, and it really helped give me some exposure.
Wow.
So one of my websites, my main one that has my gallery of work, art and photography, is jim-fitzpatrick.artistwebsites.com.
Okay, and they're gonna see it on the screen because we're gonna put the text right now so they can take it down and visit your website. I'm so happy to hear that we are able to be of service. It's great, but I would attribute that to your work.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And my goal is to be in 2016. I'm working on some things to hopefully be in
Fantastic.
next year's.
Fantastic, Jim. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Jim, for being present and for sharing your works. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.
All right, thanks so much, Viviana. Take care. Thank you.
If you're an artist and would like to participate in our Art to Heart interviews, feel free to contact me at info@arttourinternational.com and share your story of inspiration. The wonderful world of the arts awaits for you here at Art to Heart. See you soon.